Tim Sterling.
Fucking prick.
I had a choice this week with my free time. Do I want to try the Battlefield 5 beta, or do I want to play Fist of the North Star's demo? I, if you can't tell from my lovely plush helmet, made the correct choice and went, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. You don't even know it, but you've done a dying. That's from Fist of the North Star, which I played the demo of, and it's basically exactly Yakuza, but with Fist of the North Star. Which means it's fucking brilliant! Now, I can't really speak to Battlefield 5. Some people want me to talk about it. Apparently it's not doing very successfully, or it's not looking like it's going to be as successful as other Battlefields, which... who cares? Who cares? It's a Battlefield game. Who honestly cares whether they live or die? Same with the Call of Duties, same with Medal of Honor, same with all of it. All I know is, Fist of the North Star better do well, because it's basically exactly Yakuza, but Fist of the North Star, which is brilliant. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. You have going to die. For those who enjoy gawping with twitching eyeballs at the desperation and depravity of slime-drenched AAA game publishers, 2K Games has been providing an embarrassment of riches recently. The company is one of several that have had to remove loot boxes from their games in Belgium after the Belgian Gambling Committee concluded that titles such as NBA 2K and Overwatch were running afoul of gambling laws, because it turns out that gambling really is gambling, like I've been saying all along. This is on its own funny, because I did warn the gaming industry that this would happen, and well, they didn't listen, did they? But 2K embarrassed itself further by begging its fans to tell the Belgian government that they want loot boxes. In addition to this, 2K has also defended its overly zealous implementation of greedy microtransactions, calling them an unfortunate reality of the business. This is only true insofar as publishers like 2K Games are making them a reality, but we'll get to that. First, let's remind ourselves of the kind of company 2K Games is. The publisher is a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive, a shitbag corporation in its own right, which has its poisoned talons sunk deep into such properties as Red Dead Redemption, BioShock, and Borderlands. Run by Strauss Zelnick, Take-Two is a remarkably avaricious establishment. Over a year ago, Zelnick announced his desire to put microtransactions into absolutely every game Take-Two puts out going forward, stating, "We've said that we aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model, it probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after release across the board." GTA Online is the primary reason for this cynical outlook, which is hardly surprising since it remains an inconceivably lucrative cash cow. Thanks to the absolute stuffing of microtransactions into its online mode, pricey ones no less, GTA 5 is the most profitable entertainment product of all time, ever. Way back in 2016, the game raked in over $500 million just from the little side payments, and it's making more and more and more and more. But if you think that would be enough for the company, you haven't been paying attention. To the utter contrary, Zelnick sits on a mountain of gold and literally believes it isn't enough, and that he sees the customers' wallets as little more than, and I quote, wood to chop. Listen to what he said about the future of microtransactions, bearing in mind always that GTA Online is literally the most profitable entertainment product ever fucking made. You can't give stuff away for free in perpetuity. There's no business model in that. We are convinced that we are probably, from an industry view, under-monetizing on a per-user basis. Yep, that's right. GTA Online is absolutely stuffed full of exorbitant microtransactions. They charged $60 for GTA 5 in the first place anyway, and yet in Strauss Zelnick's viewpoint, that is giving stuff away for free. These executives really are out of touch little aliens, aren't they? He added that Take-Two didn't want to grab the last nickel, but given the unbeatable success it's already had, coupled with the belief that it's under-monetizing, well, you tell me. Because to me, these words read like those of a man who wants every last fucking nickel. This is a man who considers any aspect of a game not charging its player as giving stuff away for free in perpetuity, no matter what it charges the player to get into the experience up front. It was under 2K's watchful eye that Evolve famously crashed and burned. And we all know what a mess of monetization that was. It was a game that offered pre-orders before we'd even seen a shred of footage for the game, and it would eventually drown customers with an array of pre-order options that it was fucking off-putting. Evolve would then notoriously launch with so much DLC and such little compelling gameplay in return that it died on its arse in about a week. Turtle Rock once infamously claimed Evolve would have the best support for downloadable content ever, which just sounded awful. The addition of unbalanced, paid playable monsters made the whole thing come off as a pay-to-win affair, and while the game would eventually go free to play in a last-ditch effort to survive, the damage had been done thanks to 2K's decadent lust for extra gold. Then, of course, we have 2K's NBA 2K series. NBA 2K18 was, in a word, unbelievable. In more words, it was despicable, it was disgusting, it was a mess of microtransactions that truly did attempt to grab the last nickel from its player base. Literally using a mobile game free-to-play business model, unlocks and upgrades in 2K18 required the imaginatively named virtual currency, which is given to players in-game in pitiful dribs and drabs, while the option to buy more of it for real money is an ever-dangling carrot. As you can see from the purchase screen, NBA 2K18's virtual currency is virtually indistinguishable from the premium fake money you get in a shitty freemium game, to the point where if you told me this shot was from a mobile spin-off, I'd believe you, and I remain shocked it isn't. NBA 2K19 has rolled around this time, featuring both paid loot boxes alongside plenty of microtransaction shenanigans. If 2K is to be believed, this is a situation that's literally out of their hands, except it's not. They're lying. Let's look at the lies together. Acting as 2K's mouth of Sauron in this particular situation is Rob Jones, who chatted total shit to trusted reviews with some utterly sleazy justifications for microtransactions. Virtual currency is an unfortunate reality of modern gaming. Every game at some point in some way has currency that they're trying to get additional revenue from each player that plays the game. You know, the question has to be, when does it feel like it's a straight money grab versus when does it feel like it's value added, right? We know nowadays that most people don't have the patience to work their way to the top. They just want to be there right away. So, you know, we look at it as, oh, it's an opportunity for us to allow you to skip the grind. But then if the grind is too long, like some people felt last year, they're going to sit there and they're going to go, well, we knew the grind was too long to begin with. Look how generous we're being. We're allowing you to skip the grind. Well, that first part is blatantly false. Not every game has a fucking currency in it. While it's true that most, not all, but most AAA games try to make extra money post-purchase, certainly not all of them use grasping microtransactions to do it, and we can pull out all the famous examples of this, such as The Witcher 3, Skyrim, Divinity 2, Dark Souls, plus many more that offer substantial games without the need for premium currencies, and offer quality crafted DLC on top for that extra cash. Then there are, of course, hundreds upon hundreds of indie and second tier games that don't need to charge more at all, so the every game justification is complete bollocks. Not that everybody's doing it is an excuse to begin with. Then there's that bit about people not having the patience to grind and them allowing us the opportunity in all of their philanthropy to skip it. Now, who said games needed a grind? At all. That's on you, 2K, if you're making games so grindy that people are willing to pay to not play it, that's on you. You deliberately made your game fucking bad on purpose to manipulate people into paying for the privilege of skipping vast chunks of it. When I played Marvel's Spider-Man this past 2 weeks, did I find myself wishing I could pay to not level up and unlock new skills? No. You know why? Because the game was fucking fun, and skill points were distributed in an even, balanced way so they never felt too far off, and I was encouraged to keep playing, not paying, playing. There's an L in there, you fucking tit. There's an L in there. You really can tell the difference between a game without microtransactions and a game full of the bastards, because one's designed to encourage you to play it and the other fucking isn't. One is a video game and the other goes against what a video game is because it doesn't want to be played. Your game's not being fun and being grindy is shitty fucking game design, and it's your fault that you're charging people more money for inferior products. 2K, you arseheads. And it's exactly how you designed it, because you're psychologically attacking your players to coerce them into forking over more cash, you fucking shitheads. Turning players into payers, right? That's how it goes. Yeah? You dickheads. 2K's executive mouthpiece would then trot out a tired, battered, broken excuse that you've all heard 1,000 times before and is just as easily debunked now as it was when it first dribbled out of some serpent's aching fuck mouth. You know it's coming. You know it's on its way. Wait for it. Wait for it. Player choice! It's a choice, not a force, said Rob Jones. It's a choice, not a force. Horse fucking dick. Horse dick, it's a choice. Let me say this once again, and I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing it, but I'm gonna keep saying it until publishers stop with this gibberish. No company sells you something that it doesn't want you to buy. Saying these microtransactions are optional doesn't wash when you control the infrastructure and economy of your game, and are incentivized to design said game in such a way as to make the microtransactions important, i.e., the grind. A game like NBA 2K is grindy, while Marvel's Spider-Man isn't. And what's the difference maker here? One offers a way to skip the grind for money, one literally doesn't need to. And this is why microtransactions, whether you buy them or not, aren't a choice. You don't choose to have a game be grindy as hell. You don't choose to be pressured into spending more cash. And we already have proof that microtransactions and gambling affect how a game is balanced, as evidenced when Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Shadow of War had to completely rebalance their upgrades and unlocks because without the premium elements, they were literally too fucking boring and frustrating to play. Oh, and 2K knows this, and Activision Blizzard knows this. Look at what Overwatch and NBA are doing in Belgium, simply switching off the paid loot boxes now they can't legally have them in there. Players are already concerned the games will be less fun and feel more sluggish to advance in as a result, and it seems publishers are hoping for that to be the case, so customers go begging the government to allow loot boxes. That threat of a worse game only works if the games are designed to be worse without premium currencies in the first bloody place. You only want loot boxes in a game like NBA because playing it the normal way takes too fucking long. This is so obvious, so fucking obvious, and yet publishers are trying to convince us otherwise despite all the clear-cut evidence because they think we're all total fucking idiots. No, 2K Games, virtual currency isn't an unfortunate reality of video games. You are an unfortunate reality of video games. This all comes down to you. With the NBA 2K games, you release an annual sequel running on the same engine, complete with a standard silver and gold edition of increasing prices. You fill them with premium currency, you stuff them with product placement, let's not forget the amount of fucking cash you're raking in there, all while making more profit than is conceivable. Yet you have the nerve, the fucking gall, to act as if you're just eking out a survival, like you're not just engaging in cash grabs over and over again. I don't believe you. I fully accuse you of lying. Because you are 2K, because you're 2K Games, and that's what you do. Now go back to your most profitable bit of media of all time, and we'll go back to hoping you don't completely fuck up Red Dead Redemption 2, yeah? Breaking news, Electronic Arts is refusing to comply with the Belgian law on loot boxes. Apparently EA's going to draw a line in the sand and fight this, because if EA wants to stand up for anything, it's fucking gambling. So they want to keep them in FIFA and want to basically take this to court, so that's going to be interesting. I might have to do a separate video just eviscerating EA for wearing their greed on their sleeve, but for right now I thought I'd throw that in. Jesus Christ, EA. You'll take a stand on very few things, but you will stand up for gambling. You're just pathetic.
it, Peter Parker! Get me that no-good wall-crawling, motherfucking piss-drinking, fucking shit-eating Spider-Man! Get me photographs of it, Parker! Get me the fucking Spider-Man, you motherfucker! Just get your no-good wall-crawler! The fucking web-slinger! The motherfucking asshole! You no-good piece of shit! Get me the Spider-Man!
The video game industry is full of bullshit, and you can bet your bottom dollar, if you've got a bottom dollar left after playing a AAA video game, that I'll be here to eviscerate the bullshit. Wherever an industry executive is chatting their bollocks, I'll be here to debunk it. They give me some bunk, I'll give it the D. I am the High Debunker by royal decree. Who decreed it? Me. Am I royal? Not really. Should I be royal? Yes. High Debunker by royal decree, therefore. Thank God for me. I do not have a superiority complex, if that's what you're thinking. I'm not self-important. I'm just important.